sitting in the car.
Okay.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Emily. Today is February 8th, 2026. I am interviewing Joseph Sheffer for my Studies in Compassion class at Mid-Michigan College. Before we begin, do I have your permission to record this project?
Yes, you do.
Great. Today I have a lot of questions to ask about your experience with compassion. Before I do, I want to make sure we are all on the same page with compassion's definition. Compassion is feeling someone's suffering and having the desire to alleviate it.
Okay.
All right, first question. This one's long. I'm going to read you the description as well as the question at the end. It says, a lot of people confuse kindness with compassion. In our Studies in Compassion class, we learned that different parts of the brain fire for different levels of care, like pity, sympathy, empathy, and compassion.
Okay.
In order for the brain to experience compassion, we need to know the other person's suffering and not just guess what it is based on what we've experienced in our own lives. We need to not only know, but also feel their suffering and want to alleviate it. With this definition in mind, can you think of times when you listened to someone's story, felt their pain, and wanted to end that pain?
I had a friend who called me and he was having a rough time, and he had gotten a ticket for public intoxication. And I mean, essentially he just said, like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, well, how much is the ticket? And he was like, it's $500. And I was like, it's only $500? I was like, dude, I'll just pay for it. And so, no, like, I saw the panic, the worry, and his pain of not knowing how he was going to handle this thing that, you know, he'd brought on himself, but it just made him feel worse, and I wanted to end that pain, and to provide for him. So he did.
Nice.
That's time.
It helps when you have the means to do things like that.
It really does.
Where have you learned about compassion? Who's shown it to you? Who's, like, emulated that in your life?
Emulated that?
Yeah.
To me or toward other people?
That you've seen, so.
I've seen. I mean, I used to work at a food pantry, and that's kind of built on that idea of compassion, of seeing people's needs and then putting into practice the way to fill those needs instead of just sympathizing instead of showing actual compassion. So, I mean, yeah, so the founder of that food pantry is a really great example of that, because even when it was just extra donuts that were going to be thrown away being given out of his basement, he showed that compassion on every level he was able, when he wasn't able to show much, all the way to having an actual organization and coordinating with several other food banks to fill the most needs and show the greatest volume, I guess, of compassion that he was able. So
Jim's a good guy.
yes.
Are there ways you thought you were receiving or showing compassion, but were actually pity, sympathy, or empathy?
Probably. Yes, because my idea of compassion, I had sort of put compassion on a very similar level with empathy, because I thought that empathy fueled action, and so that you could just call it empathy when you really felt someone's pain. And maybe it's just because it seems like a no-brainer that if you feel someone's pain, you want to help, and so having those two be essentially the same definition would make sense. So I guess I can't think of a specific. I think sometimes just listening can be compassion. Sometimes just listening can help to alleviate that, and giving, counsel or comfort, that can be compassion. And I think that at other times that can just be sympathy or empathy or pity. So I think just listening without doing anything about it can be sympathy, empathy, or pity instead of compassion. But there are times when just listening and being there for someone and letting them talk through their problems is enough.
Right, because that's what they need in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So yes, I guess just listening, just hearing, just seeing, and saying, wow, that's really hard, I'm sorry, can be those things without any compassion behind it.
Empathetic listening.
Yeah. Or pathetic listening.
Can you describe a time in your life when you received compassion when you were in need? Whether it was just the listening ear or somebody paying $500 to
Not
bail you out of jail.
Right?
He has not ever been to jail. Preface that.
Not yet. I can't. Let me think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, from a material and monetary standpoint, yes. Like, we needed a car, and somebody gave us money for a car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know who heard that we needed one. I have my suspicions, but they heard that we had a need, and they saw that they had the means to fill that need.
Yeah.
And filled it. So, yes, there's that. And then I'm sure there are other, like, I haven't had much suffering. So other than a listening ear and helping to, like, pull me out of my own head and things like that, and listening to my problems, which you have done and which a bunch of other people have done for me, I think that's one of the chief ways that I show compassion, and I think it's one of the chief ways I have received compassion is through being there and listening and, like, staying with me.
Being present.
Right.
Yeah.
And faithful, like, consistently there.
Yeah. The other day I was thinking about it, showing compassion to somebody when they're angry instead of just suffering. Because I was thinking about anger as, like, a form of suffering, and how, like, getting them water, or, like, going for a walk, or, like, creating space for them to calm down, being another form of, like, showing compassion that we don't always think about.
Yeah, that is huge. It makes sense.
Is there a time you wish you had shown compassion but didn't, and do you regret it?
When you get angry.
When I get angry?
Yes. And shooting back with more anger instead of doing everything you just said, which I'll try to keep in mind. Everything you just said.
Yeah, likewise.
I mean, there are times when I felt like I couldn't, where I wanted to help alleviate somebody's suffering and couldn't. And, realized that I probably could if I really tried, or if I would have taken a second to stop and breathe and really process and listen, I could probably help. So I think that is just seeing the opportunities that you could probably help, and then kind of defaulting into, well, I probably can't, or I can't do anything about that. I think would be the only. I can't think of a specific, like, man, I really should have done X, Y, Z, and I didn't, and it ended poorly. So.
I think of the other day when that college kid was stuck in the snow outside of our house, and you wanted to go and help him get out because he's a poor southern boy.
Trying to drive on these icy streets.
Yeah.
Yes. And I should regret that? Are you telling me I should regret that?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that I think I regret not making space for you to go and show him compassion because I was trying to get ready for bed, but you were watching Haley.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can see that. So even though I would have been the one doing the work, you would have been showing the compassion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, you were showing compassion to...
You could have entered into that compassion.
Oh, we could have partnered into it.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. What compassionate memory is the most meaningful to you? Do you have compassionate memory that is meaningful to you? I feel like your mom's kind of a compassionate person.
She is a compassionate person.
Yeah. Do you have a memory with her?
I do not.
Interesting.
I can think of countless times when people made sure that we had food, and that our family being so big and having so many mouths to feed, if there was a default of, like, our family was a default for people to, like, bring food to, or like at youth group, when the meal would be over and there would be leftovers, they were always like, you take the food, make sure you bring these leftovers home. So I mean, that one is a repeated and incredibly practical, like, form of...
Do you think that's compassion, or do you think that that's more of like pity? Yeah.
Knowing the people who were doing it, it was compassion.
Oh, okay.
And not pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, you can feel the difference. So I mean, there's that. There's your compassion that you show to me all the time that we've known each other for so long and been married as long as we have, and, like, you just continue that. You emulate, or you show the compassion that is the steady, consistent presence. And even when I rage and
Not very often, if ever.
act the fool, you show me compassion every time.
Sure.
No, Mom's compassion was mostly outward, which, yeah, she was compassionate to us, but I think the way that she showed compassion is she taught us how to look out and show compassion to those outside of our family.
For my last few questions, what do you know of and think of self-compassion?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nope. I don't know anything about self-compassion.
Okay, so...
No, just you saying it and the definition you gave earlier.
Oh, yeah.
No, that clicks. That checks out. Never heard of it.
Oh, sure.
Yep, never heard of it. But it makes, like, I've heard it under different forms where it's like you wouldn't let anybody talk to you the way that you talk to yourself, or people who say...
Oh, you would never talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself.
And you wouldn't let anybody talk to you that way. Often, if, like, your internal dialogue is bad, like, if somebody came up to you and started handing you your own internal dialogue back to you, unless you're in a really terrible place where you just feel awful about yourself and they're just saying, yeah, you're right, you'd punch them. You wouldn't let them get away with that. But, wow, no.
Do you think you're compassionate to yourself?
Not as much as I should be.
I think that's a reasonable answer.
Yeah, no, not usually.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's, yeah, a simple no, not really.
Sure. Are there ways that you'd like to be more compassionate to yourself?
I am actively working on it and seeing it and being patient with myself and patient with the progress. And I think my primary practical of how to show more compassion to myself is to recognize that anything that I've been trying to do or work on, or discipline that I've been trying to work toward, to acknowledge any step that I have made, and to know that no matter whether I meet that same standard today, or whether or not I meet that same standard tomorrow, doesn't diminish or undo the times that I've already met that standard. And to try to build on the times that I've met the standard and met the discipline that I want in myself, and recognize that, yeah, anytime you miss the mark, it does not undo the marks that you have hit. And then also to remind myself to rest. And to take that time to rest.
Yeah. So that is the compassion.
Yeah.
Is allowing yourself to rest, because that's what you need. Do you have, I guess that kind of was words of wisdom you'd like to share regarding compassion?
Those are my words of wisdom.
Those are your words of wisdom. Do you have any questions for me?
All of them.
All of them?
Your turn.
My gosh.
No, that's all.
Interview half an hour long.
That's all.
That was my final question. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to add? If you think of something, please let me know.
Sure.
Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate your willingness to participate in this project.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.